I'm Paul from the Cult of Cantona podcast. I'm here to talk about our pre-game analysis against Tottenham Hotspur this weekend. Tottenham Hotspur. There is a version of Tottenham Hotspur which I greatly miss. That version of Spurs that were so disillusioned and shrouded in their own mediocrity that they thought they were excellent but they never really were. When they'd say audacious things like, Ledley King is one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. He wasn't. He never was. He really never was. This affiliation to Ledley King that Spurs fans had is beyond me. At his best, he was around the same rate as Richard Dunn. And Spurs fans, if you want to come after me for that, please don't. I get very nervous if people come after me. Please don't do that. Just leave me alone. So I think with Tottenham Hotspur, there's the version I missed. There's one particular version of Spurs that I greatly miss, and that is the Tim Sherwood version. I swear, Tim Sherwood's team talks must have gone a little something like this.
Alright lads, have it, right? I want you to go out there, lose, and when you think you can't lose anymore, lose more, alright Tim? In for Tim!
Terrible manager. What were they doing putting him into that position? He was woeful. Oh, Tim. In the last couple of meetings with Man United and Tottenham, Man United have had the upper hand, although the last meeting they beat us, and then of course there was that 6-1 milling at Old Trafford. That's not a version of Tottenham I enjoy. That's not a version of a mediocre Tottenham. That is a fully fledged, relentless Spurs with a Dan Harry Kane and Son in their team. I think Son is one of those players who would fit into any team in the world and improve them. He is so good. He's also got that rare quality to him that he's a player that everybody seems to like, no matter who you support. I think even Arsenal fans would probably give Son a break. In terms of history of transfers between the two clubs, there's been quite a few players who've represented both teams. It has always swung in the favour of Man United from my perspective anyway. It's like we take the best of Spurs, the Berbatovs, the Carricks, the Teddy Sheringham's. And then sometimes in the Teddy Sheringham case of things, we take him at his peak, we use him up and then we send him back. And he's fairly ineffective, although Teddy did go on to have a decent enough career then at West Ham and Portsmouth. He was always a great player, but there's other players. I think Louis Saha basically went there to die. Fraser Campbell, our talented young prospect, he just seemed to die a death at Spurs, God love him. And then of course there's the Ezekiel Fryer situation whereby we were negotiating, but Levy was up to his Levy tricks and didn't want to pay the penalty or pay the price for Zeke Fryer, so he had a little word with him and he said, Ezekiel, why don't you head on off to Belgium there? We'll come in and buy you, don't worry. And then they did, and they purchased him, and then they sold him at a loss to Crystal Palace, and Zeke Fryer's best football was played at Swindon Town, where he was by no means the best player. How do I see the game going this weekend? Tottenham at the moment is a really, really tough game. Ange Postecoglou has done amazing things in there and he is a great manager. I really like him. I really respect him. I enjoy watching his press conferences. I came across a YouTube video of his achievements before he joined Tottenham Hotspur, and it made me think, if anybody is going to lift the Premier League trophy with them, it might just be Ange Postecoglou. He seems like a great guy, a great manager, and he's getting, really truly getting some great performances out of those players. There's boys that have come back into that squad, like maybe they were fairly prevalent to Tottenham fans, like Udogie. He's in my fantasy football team. He's getting me relentless points every week. A great player. They're playing a nice style of football and they are a great team. I sound like I'm a Tottenham fan here. But of course I'm hoping Man United can pull it out of the bag. It's just the way our season has gone at the moment between the ebbs and flows. You play great, you play horrible. That Nottingham Forest performance was truly abysmal and it was truly painful to watch. The Wigan one was a comfortable win, but you'd really expect that against Wigan. But depending on the lineup this week, I want to see Højlund back up front. I want to see a little bit more supply to him. I hope Bruno's on form because he always seems to enjoy a game against Spurs. Scoreline wise, I believe that this is going to be a 1-1 draw. Tottenham have beaten us the last time out. I think we bet them the last 5 times prior to that, and then we had the 6-1 demolishing at Old Trafford. So we have had a reasonably good record against Tottenham over our last couple of games. But with the form that we're in at the moment, I'm going to say 1-1. And I'm going to go to Paddy Power. I'm going to put €10 on Tottenham Hotspur. So if Spurs win, at least I have money for a takeaway and the original tenner I put in. And if Man United win, well, sure, look, I'll make something horrible for dinner and I'll be thankful of the tenner spent to see Man United win. That's it. Wherever you're watching the game, enjoy it.